You see what's on the screen, right? An NBA player lost millions of dollars, and we got to talk about this. Let's get into this clip, y'all.
Don't just say bad investments. Like, how did you run through 20? I never saw 20. And just thinking about it, like, my thing when I see dudes and I'm talking to them, I'm like, bro, if you got 10, then you got 8, then you got 6, then you got 4, then you got 800,000. Like, you can see that money leaving. Like, at one point, then you try to adjust. Like, something is going wrong with this financial plan.
That's a good question. And no excuse. No excuse. So I played 10 years. You said I made 20. We all know about Uncle Sam, right? So what's that? 10.
10.
Right? So that's about $1 million a year.
Yeah.
That ain't no money.
Hey, let's run that back. Right? Y'all hear him?
That ain't no money.
With a straight face. Hold on, I gotta bring that dude back. Hold on, where he said that at?
That ain't no money.
With a smile on his face. This man just said 20 M's after taxes, 10 M's over a 10-year period. Ain't no money. This is what is wrong, unfortunately, with people who get a lot of money and they don't understand how to appreciate it. Let's be real. You cannot appreciate the value of a dollar if over the course of 10 years, not a lifetime, 10 years, you had the ability to make $1 million a year and you now, years later, are saying that was no money. You know why it was no money? Or I should say, you know why you don't have none of those millions? Because you viewed it as no money. That's a mindset issue. That's a mindset issue. He never viewed it as money. That's sad. That's sad to think that somebody could be making millions of dollars, but to them, it ain't no money. And that's the reason why you blow through it like that, because to you, it ain't no money. And guess what? If you don't change that type of behavior, that type of mindset, it will never be no money, and you will never have no money.
No money. That's the real truth. The real truth is I ain't really make no money.
Bruh, this man just said he ain't really make no money. Yo, how many people do you know right now? Count them out. Count them out on your hand right now. 5 people that made $1 million last year. Count them out. Off the top of your head, can you give me 5 people you know right now in your everyday life that made $1 million? Not no celebrity, not no athlete, a person you know in your life right now who made over $1 million last year. I'll wait. The only people I know that made M's last year are entrepreneurs and business owners that I know. And guess what? I ain't never heard none of them say making $1 million a year ain't no money. Because guess what? It is. It is a significant amount of money, especially if you know how to manage it. Especially if you understand that there are actual tax benefits. Did you have any financial management going on? Did you have a financial advisor? Did you have a financial planner? Did you have somebody helping you with your estate? For you to say it ain't no money, that means you did not invest it. You did not manage it. Like, this is a perfect example of what is wrong with our culture. You cannot hand somebody a whole bunch of money and they don't know what to do with it. They will look at it and be like, that ain't no money. I ain't never had no money. That is the most ridiculous thing that I have heard in a very long time. Like, this is a problem. And I'm not even going to say that this is a black issue. It's not. It's people of all races, colors, creeds that move like this, that have no appreciation and no value for a dollar. And it's sad because it's not a situation where it was just given to him. He had to work for it. He had to develop his talent. He had to, make it all the way to the league, was in the league for 10 years, played the game, made the money. But once you got off the court, you didn't know what to do with it. And you know what I really think the issue is? In many cases, it's the fact that people are unwilling to admit that they don't really understand money or how to properly manage it. And they are afraid to ask for help. If you blowing through money, like the first gentleman said, like you seeing 80,000, then 100,000, and 200, and then more and more is leaving your account, and your balance is dropping. At some point, when do you pump the brakes and say, hold up, something wrong here? Like, in a minute, it ain't gonna be nothing left. We got to fix this before you got no money. Oh my God! But he's not done, y'all. Let's watch the rest of this clip.
$1 million a year.
Yeah.
That ain't no money. That's the real truth. The real truth is I ain't really make no money. I really ain't make no money. So people like,
He
I
doubled down
understand
on
how
that.
you go crazy from, I'm like, I ain't make Floyd Mayweather enough money. I didn't make the type of money.
Guess what? Even if he did make Floyd Mayweather money, if he made $100 million, he would still be saying the same thing. It's a mindset issue. It's not the amount of money. You realize that, right? It's not the amount of money. He's trying to say, oh, well, if it was more money, then it would have been money. If it would have been $100 million instead of $20 million, then I can say it would be some money. Bruh, like the difference between 20 M's and 100 M's, it is very minimal to the average person. Shoot, you get an average person $1 million, or the average person work hard enough to earn $1 million, they're not going to be like, that ain't no money. They like, oh my God, I just made a large sum of money. Now, how can I grow this? How can I manage this? How can I not squander it away? Not saying, oh, I made $1 million, but that ain't no money because it ain't 10. Oh, that ain't no money because that ain't 100. Oh, that ain't nothing because that ain't 500. Oh, that ain't nothing because it ain't a Billy. Like, when you got that mindset of not understanding money and not appreciating it, not valuing it, you will squander it no matter what the amount is. So no.
I'm like, I ain't make Floyd Mayweather enough money. I didn't make the type of
And we
money
see why.
where it's like,
Your mindset.
I'm gonna go crazy because I don't have it today. That's the real truth. If you do the math, that's $1 million a year. It's even hard. That's you got to be a real strategic dude making $1 million a year and thinking you're gonna end up, you know what I'm saying, with everything on earth.
Duh. Look. Check this out. He said, yo, you got to be a real strategic dude to take $1 million a month and then build it into something in the future. Yes, it does require strategy and planning. See, this is what we're talking about. You are actually, you're exposing the fact that you don't have that mindset. And this is my thing. If you're making $1 million a year, if you don't have the strategic mindset to manage and plan for your future, that is what financial professionals are for. And yes, you should at your best do your due diligence to hire somebody that is not going to squander your money and take advantage of the fact that you don't understand money. Like, but to just say, oh man, like, man, if you got $1 million, it ain't nothing because you got to be real strategic with it. Yes, you do have to be smart with your money. You do. Man, I have rich friends that told me, like, you don't start planning for having a lot of money once you have it, you plan before it. They're like, yo, Jay, go get a lawyer. Go get a financial planner. Go get a financial advisor. You need to have these people in place before the money comes, not once it comes. And I think one of the reasons why they say that is because if you have those people in place before you making that type of money, you are going to attract what? Somebody that is not likely to take advantage of you. Why? Because you didn't come to them with $1 million or $10 million in hand, and anybody will be like, ooh, yeah, they got $10 million. Let's see how I can get a piece of that. If you're coming to them and you are still making, your regular average wage, you don't yet have millions, and they're willing to work with you and help you to manage that and grow it, then you realize that, oh, okay, this person isn't just in it just so that they can, get a piece of the pie that I've got. But if they are working with you and building that relationship as your income grows, you already have built a rapport. So that is a gem. Like, I hope you collected it, man. I know everybody probably ain't gonna have stuck around this long to the video, but for those of you that did, you just got a gem right there. If you plan to be rich in the future, please start right now getting a lawyer, getting a financial planner, getting an advisor. Put those people in place now, because you can find somebody that will help you to manage the income that you have now. And as you grow your wealth, you will be operating with somebody that more than likely has they have good integrity about them. And they weren't just working with you because you came to them with a big, huge nest egg. So let's get back to what this guy is saying. And I'm going to try my best to let the rest of this clip play, but he's just saying stuff that I just got to address.
Strategic dude making $1 million a year and thinking you're going to end up, you know what I'm saying, with everything on earth.
And you taking care of the
You don't need
family.
everything on
I got
earth.
14 brothers and sisters. that I love with all my heart on earth.
And you take care of the family.
I got 14 brothers and sisters that I love with all my heart. I got a mother and a father. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot on us. The real truth with the money part of it, we ain't making enough money.
See, this is a mindset. Y'all notice that that's all he keeps saying. It ain't really no money. It ain't really no money. It wasn't enough money. It wasn't enough money. Now, having 14 brothers and sisters, a mother and a father, a family to take care of, yes, that is a great responsibility. But let's be honest, like that responsibility isn't all on you. That responsibility is not all on you. Even if you are the richest person in your family, it is not your responsibility to take care of everybody. And if that pressure is on you, you got to address that issue first. Because he didn't sit here and say that he was spending his money taking care of his family and, that's the reason why he ain't got no more money. I really believe it's a mindset issue. You can take care of a lot of people with $1 million a year. Again, it requires you to do what? To plan and be strategic, which it sounds based on his last statement that to him, that's too much to ask. Like, I mean, making the millions was hard enough. Now you want me to think strategically and figure out how to stretch this out? You're asking too much. No, it means that to go to the next level, you're going to have to do something that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to put you in a position where you're going to have to do what? You're going to have to learn more than, playing ball. You're going to have to learn how to manage that wealth that you've worked your butt off to get.
For it to be sent the way it's supposed to be sent, right? That's the real answer to that. But I invested in Philippe Childs. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing, when I first got to the league, I was on the path to do, you know what I'm saying, the right thing.
Don't just say bad investment.
Okay, so he said he was on the path. So to say you were on the path actually would, I'm trying to pull up a clip. Okay, to say you were on the path means that at some point you deviated from it. So that's really the question at hand. Like, what happened? Like, if you were on the path, making investments and trying to manage the money, what happened along the way? But again, I think the much deeper issue is the mindset piece of it. And I think that this is a really great time to just talk about the importance of financial responsibility. Regardless of if you make $1 million or not, you should be managing everything that you have. Protect your assets, grow your assets, and hold yourself accountable. Be willing to accept the fact that, every amount of money you make is money. Like I think about my own personal situation where, don't get me wrong, there are instances where you can definitely get in the habit of like spending money and blowing it in a way. I remember when I was working in corporate, I was making great money. And then years later, after I left corporate, all I had was my savings and I wanted to go pursue, my dreams of being an entrepreneur. And I still had the spending patterns of how I spent my money when I was in corporate, and I blew through my savings. And this is the difference though. I can look back and say, I made an unwise choice. And it was interesting because I'm like, yo, I got an accounting degree. I got a financial degree. Like, hell, I just was working at one of the top accounting firms in this country. And I did not make a wise decision. Why? Because I fell into a pattern of behavior where money was coming in like clockwork every single week. And then I got in a position where that money wasn't coming in like that after I left, and I just blew through it. That was one of the most I'm so glad I had that experience, because it showed me like, yo, we can get so caught up in a pattern of behavior that we lose sight of all of the things that we know. Like, I knew about savings. I knew about investing. That's why I had savings. That's why I had so much. But once I didn't have the check coming in and, there wasn't the same funds in the checking account, I'm pulling out, and I had to look back and be like, what am I doing? What did I do? Just blew through all of that money. And it made me even more appreciative of every dollar I earned from them, because I made a decision to say, I will never, ever do that again. I will never put myself in a position where I just blow through my savings without even thinking about it, not recognizing and being aware of what is the financial situation I'm in right now. What are my goals? Always be putting something away. Always make sure that I'm managing my money. And if I don't know how to do that or how to maximize that strategically, go hire somebody that is a professional that can do that. And I feel like that is something that was not he didn't have that awareness. He just looked at, I had this money, I don't have this money, it wasn't enough money. That's how some people look at it. They was like, yo, I got paid this amount, you know, I owe this, I had to pay these bills. It wasn't enough money. But when you're talking about millions, it's a totally different ball game. It's a difference between, you know, somebody making $1,000 and then, you know, they got bills that add up to 1,200. They don't have enough money in that case. That doesn't mean that they still can't make adjustments in order to, you know, put them in themselves in a position where they can cover that cost. But let's just be real. Like, you're gonna have to make some changes if all you bring in is 1,000, but every month you gotta shell out 12. That's a tough situation to be in versus every year $1 million is coming in. And then you wake up one day and you're like, that's not enough money. It wasn't enough money. No, that means that you didn't properly manage the money you had and you didn't express or show enough gratitude for the blessings that God brought into your life in the form of that money. We got to own that and then say, okay, how can I go fix it? If you've had an experience similar to mine or you got some thoughts on this, do you feel like, hey, $10 million, that ain't enough money. That's not no money. If you agree with him, let me hear your thoughts. If you feel like, yo, there's something else at hand and you want to share your thoughts or your experiences, I welcome you to do that in the comments below. And I want to invite you to check out other videos here on the channel as well. If you are interested in, you know, just taking deep dives into some of the lessons that we can learn from, you know, these cultural figures that we see and some of the mistakes that they're making. Until next time, I'm Jay, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed.